pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life is lemons, just hold me. Just hold me. Just hold me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds, and when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just hold me. Just hold me. Just hold me. Just hold me.
From Daytona International Speedway, just a few short miles away from where it all started 75 years ago, the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series is ready to get the 2023 season underway. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the World Center of Racing. After a dominating performance last season, Bennett Allen brought home the 2022 MNN Xfinity Series Championship after recording 4 wins, 10 top 5s, and 12 top 10s. Now, he looks to defend his series title here in Daytona Beach, Florida. This is the asphalt where names are made and where careers have been defined for what they are. As we embark on the 2023 season, SRM is proud to present to you, our loyal fans, Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series racing for the very first time, and we are glad to have you along for the ride. I'm Dave Regal here in the broadcast booth for SRM, and I'll be with you every step of the way, from the green flag to the checkered flag, here on Sim Racing Media. And folks, glad to have all of you in with us as we are just getting qualifying underway. Looks like Brandon Minto, the first to be headed out here. We'll take a look. And if you are just tuning in, welcome into Facebook for my video feed. And of course, here on Sim Racing Media's YouTube page, you can check us out. That's over at youtube.com, Sim Racing Media. You can search us out, taking a look at Brandon Minto. He is just here on his opening lap. The Norman, Oklahoma native here in the number 12 Upside Ford Mustang is out here getting up to speed. We can see that he's taking that high line And, that's something that we're going to see on a lot of these opening laps. Austin Story doing the same thing from Valdosta, Georgia. And, of course, the GOAT of all that is Supercross, Mr. Ricky Carmichael from Tallahassee, Florida, also out here on his opening lap as he crosses the start-finish line. We're going to see him take that high line as well, as he's going to drift up to the wall, use as much momentum as he can, and that'll get him underway. Meanwhile, Jeff Carson finishing his opening lap over here in the number 9 Micro Setter Toyota Supra. Of course, different from his Napa paint scheme of last year. This year, he has agreed to go with Micro Setter. Of course, great location for all that is tech, and to me, it's better than Best Buy. The service is great. Everything over there is great. They don't have a lot of locations, though. We are fortunate enough to have one just outside of Philadelphia over toward Villanova. So you can always check them out if you're in that neck of the woods. John Crow Sr. right now is purple on the timing line. We're going to pull up that timing tower here on the left-hand side. Ricky Carmichael fastest after 9/10 of a lap. Did not complete that lap. Not sure what's going on with him. Joey Savajki now goes to the top. So drivers getting faster and faster here as Joey Savajki able to lay down a 49.97. So right now, these drivers, you can see their best times here on the timing tower. The interesting thing about super speedway racing, though, is it almost never matters where you qualify. You can go from the back to the front, in a matter of laps. We saw it a lot last night in the Cup Series race. And, here's the thing. We see drivers that have it, for super speedways, and then we see drivers that don't. And, sometimes we see these drivers as, there we go, a little bit of a feed problem from iRacing. We see a lot of these drivers that don't do well at intermediate or short tracks be amazing at super speedways and vice versa. As we're going to get this corrected here, folks. Not sure what's causing that, so you'll have to forgive the loss of immersion here. That'll do it. It's just something that's been happening on iRacing here of late. Zach Rinker from St. Charles, Illinois. He's out here finishing his second lap, not really hugging that double yellow line. You're going to see a lot of drivers hugging that yellow line here through the turns. He's not quite down close enough that would make this a super fast lap. But needless to say, he's still out here qualifying. Just about everybody has qualified with the exception of the ever-present Tony Burt, and hopefully he gets out there. Tony Burt, Nick Breidenbach, and Jackson Derby have not laid down qualifying times, as just a few more minutes left in qualifying. Looks like Ryan Honeycutt finished up. Finn Robinson now, of course, from Shropshire, one of our international contestants here. He's going to go out here, finish that time, and go 8th fastest. See if we can't clean up some of the mess that's going on here with the iRacing.com feed. As we're going to take a look at Jackson Derby here in the number 34, just wrapping up what would have been his second lap. He's choosing to come down pit road instead. Looks like Nicholas Breidenbach still out here in the number 24 Navy Chevrolet Camaro. Breidenbach, one heck of a competitor that we've seen for the last several years here in Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series racing, and I'm always looking for big things from Breidenbach. He is one of these guys that week in and week out is a competitor. He's fierce, and we've got a lot of those tonight. Of course, we've got Corey Burkett in the number 13 Ford Mustang. He has now gone fastest, and we'll take a look back at the timing line. 49.96, so just barely faster than Joey Savajki. But Burkett, Savajki, Mack, Davis, Gaskins, Vaughn, your top 6 here. So a lot of names that we usually see toward the top once we get toward those final stages, not here yet. We're not up top yet, but a lot of these drivers going to be thinking about trying to, hang back. Excuse me, folks, and hang back and maybe try to avoid the all too possible big one. Going to take a look right now at our race info. Of course, 81 degrees, the ambient air temperature in Daytona Beach, Florida tonight. As, right now, track temperature getting ready to come up. We're going to take a look just at that here on the right-hand side of your screen. Track temperature 83 degrees, so warm, but not too warm. As, at this point, there's going to be a lot of grip in the track. We're going to see these tires not really fall off. Tire wear never really much of a big factor, at least tire fall off. So a big deal maybe on an intermediate track, certainly a short track. But here at these speeds, when you're holding it wide open at the front of the pack and maybe half throttle mid-pack, that tire wear not always a big deal. So kind of a good thing for a lot of these drivers. Meanwhile, we do want to once again welcome everybody in to the Sim Racing Media broadcast booth. Dave Regal here at the microphone, operating the ones and twos and everything in between. We've got a heck of a race tonight. And, here's the thing. This is our season opener in the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series. We'll go over some things here with the league that work like this. Now, of course, we are a full-length league, so we're going to run 120 laps just like they did in the real-life race, as we've seen before. Of course, Stage 1 going to end at the conclusion of lap number 30, Stage number 2 going to end at the conclusion of lap number 60, and then a 60-lap run to the end. And 4 sets of tires going to be given to these drivers, so they're going to lay 3, have 4, so they're going to start with 1 and have 3 changes, if you will. And, basically the sim time for this, the race is going to be starting at 5 p.m., so this will be going into the night, as right now we're kind of in that twilight time, if you will. So it's going to be an interesting race. We're going to see that track cool off. We're going to see it grip up. And stand by 1 second here, folks. As we've got about 50 seconds left in qualifying. See if we can get a hold of one of our favorites here. Actually, the first thing we're going to do is we're not going to have time to do that. So we're going to have to grab our chief cook and bottle washer here in the SNN family of races in a little while, as the cars are about 30 seconds away from gridding. One last qualifying entrant. The number 76 of Clayton Davis, he is out here trying to finish up that second lap. Not sure if he's going to have enough time with just 10 seconds left on the qualifying time. I don't think he's going to have it. Fairly certain he's not going to have it, as we are now complete. So we're going to see him magically disappear as we get ready to take a look here at our qualifying results. As mentioned earlier, your pole sitter going to be Mr. Corey Burkett in the number 13 car. He's going to be joined on the front row by Joey Savajki. Aaron Mack and Justin Davis going to make up row number 2, with Matt Gaskins and Zachary Vaughn in row number 3. Waiting for everybody to get in here, so we're going to hold off on that starting grid. We can take a little preview here, as we're just trying to get all the kinks out. Drivers trying to get used to what's going on here in the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series League. And 40 drivers going to be taking the green flag tonight. So full boat here at Daytona, which is pretty exciting here in the NASCAR world, as we're still waiting for Corey Burkett to get in the car. And there he is. We can see all these cars lined up, and I'll tell you what, there's something special about when these cars start to move. You can see that graceful kind of a serpentine snake-looking thing moving down the backstretch. the sun catches these windshields just right, and it's something special when you know that it's happening in Daytona Beach. You know, this is the place where, you know, they started racing on sand. They needed something faster, and, you know, Big Bill France builds this, and of course then it's big kind of little cousin Talladega built a few years later. As we're going to check here on our YouTube feed real quick. Looks like everything working the way that it should. Glad to see everybody in the YouTube live chat. LJ Goodhouse, race number 1, glad to have you in with us. Bob Nestor, personal friend and absolutely amazing human being. Glad to have you in here. LJ, I'm glad to hear you too. Thank you for being here in the live chat. Gcash videos, always a joy to have you with us. Glad to have everybody here tonight as we are now getting rolling. Let's take a look at our starting lineup now that we finally have everybody in the cars where they belong. Corey Burkett and Joey Savage are going to sit on the front row here. Corey Burkett going to have the pole. Aaron Mack and Justin Davis going to be on row number 2. Row number 3 is going to belong to Zachary Vaughn and Mr. Matthew Gaskins from Parts Unknown. Always a joy to have him with us. Row number 5 going to be made up of Chad Sanner and Clayton Davis, Isaac Wilson, and Mike Wright, one of our big winners last season from Greensboro, North Carolina, going to be starting in 10th position. Isaac Wilson and Ryan Honeycutt make up row number 6 with Andrew T. Jones and Brandon Minto in row number 7. Row number 8, back here a little bit farther, Zach Rinker from St. Charles, Illinois. He went 15th fastest with John Crow Sr. on his outside. John Bawalda, the chief cook and bottle washer of the Tuesday Night NASCAR Truck Series, going to be starting in 17th position with Michael, is 19th position with Carlos Ramos from Columbia, South Carolina. As mentioned earlier, the GOAT, Ricky Carmichael, going to be starting back here in row number 11 with Doug Argabright on his outside. Dylan Ackhart and Jeff Carson from Cross Junction, Virginia, going to be starting here in 24th and 25th. Joseph Lester, a dominant driver in his own right. The young man going to be starting 26th today with Matt Mackin in the 01 from Cleveland, Ohio, starting in 27th. Chris Claude from Fairview, Tennessee, the chief cook and bottle washer for all that is SNN, going to be starting 28th with Bennett Allen, last year's Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series champion. Right alongside of Austin Story and Kavaja Holt going to be making up row number 15 with Brenton Henderson and Gabriel Lafreniere in row number 16. Row number 17 made up of Mark Brewster and Jackson Derby. Not taking the start tonight is going to be Lauren Jones and Alexander Gangler, as Randy Lapidus and Nicholas Breidenbach going to be starting shotgun on the field. These drivers have been waiting all off-season long to finally get what's theirs here at Daytona International Speedway. And folks, I've been waiting all winter long myself. This is exciting to be here on Sim Racing Media, the Independence Racing Network on the back burner, as we have now decided to get things going here with Sim Racing Media. And the SRM crew is amazing. They treat us great here on the broadcast side. Corey Burkett has his finger on the button behind the iRacing.com pace car. That pace car bringing them into the 3-4 complex. And just as they're going to get ready, we can see the 13, the 17, everybody's foot getting a little itchy on that throttle as we see the iRacing.com pace car getting ready to make that all-important dive down pit road. Folks, you can see right here before you, the man in the stand has the green flag in his hand. Settle in, buckle up, call a friend, and get some popcorn because we are green flag racing at Daytona International Speedway. the first lap. We can see Corey Burkett going to get credit for leading that first lap. As he brings the field through, it goes Burkett, Savachki, Mack, Davis, Gaskins, Vaughn, Sanner, Robinson, Isaac Wilson, and Clayton Davis. We are 2 by 2, pretty deep through the field right now, folks. And it is something special as far as I'm concerned here. We can see just how close these guys are driving. If we go up here to our drone cam, as we get ready to pull that bad boy up, these cars are all within feet of one another, and just as we see the 3 car of Justin Davis starting to wobble behind the 17 of Joey Savachki, he's going to get credit for leading this lap as we get ready to come into the tri-oval. Maybe not, as they are side by side coming through the tri-oval. It is tight all the way through the field. Of course, always a smattering of folks, not only in the live chat or on the Facebook feed, but also in my phone. Always glad to have, I'll tell you what, my favorite human being on earth. She's the one that keeps me well grounded. Rebecca letting me know that it was a nice open. I appreciate that, babe. Thank you for letting me do this, because I know it drives you crazy through most of the night. But getting back to racing, we are 2 by 2. It's almost like Noah built an ark and everybody's trying to look for the door. We go all the way back here to Ricky Carmichael here in the 04 in that Monster Energy Chevrolet Camaro. We can see just as the drone cam flips over at the start-finish line, he is closely trailing up to Clayton Davis. And I'll tell you what, I personally was trailing Davis last night in the Cup Series race, and my goodness, what an absolute gem he is to draft behind. Of course, right behind him is Jeff Carson in that number 9 Toyota Supra. You can see a couple of guys dropping down here, maybe further back in this pack, as we see the 66 here. That's Dylan Acker. He wanted to get out of the line of fire, as they are still 2 by 2 through a lot of this race. As we're going to go back up here to the leaders. This is one giant pack. We're going to take a look from the blimp, because my goodness, it does not get any more nerve-wracking than this. As we are all the way back, 15 cars, 2 by 2, all the way back through Jeff Carson here in the number 9, right in the middle of your screen. They're getting ready to line up behind him again, as John Bawalda getting ready to close in on the 84 of Joseph Lester. Lester, the last car on the high side. And just because he's Joseph, and Joseph is one heck of a cool kid, let me tell you. We're going to take a look at that Barbie paint scheme from the 94 of Andrew Jones. So, obviously, Joseph wanting to get out there and let people know he is not afraid to drive pink. That's for sure. Whoa, the 03 of R.P. Allen getting just a little close down there to Ryan Honeycutt. Things starting to dice up here as he's still double file for 15 cars in this lead lap. Jeff Carson, one of those drivers that he can almost smell when there's a problem coming in. He is one of these guys that, you know, there's something inside of him that says, I should back off, And looks like John Bawalda doing the same thing just behind him, as he has decided to go below the yellow line, maybe drop back. Probably not a bad idea, as we're on lap 6 of 120. Working our way toward lap number 30. Bawalda gets back in line, almost takes it 3 wide. He gets right in front of the 00 of Kavaja Holt. Kavaja, though, not wavering whatsoever, able to pick up Bawalda, and they can continue to work together, maybe, if Kavaja's not just a little too sour at. Meanwhile, one of our big movers of the night, Mr. Nicholas Breidenbach, he is the biggest mover of the night. He's up 19 spots right now, all the way up into 19th. And right now, he is just barely hanging on there. We're going to go back to Nicholas, as yet again we see Bawalda drifting back. That's all right. Don't be afraid, folks. If you're a fan of John Bawalda, and I know I am, he'll be back up there. At this point, he just wants to hang out. He's kind of a lurker. He'll sit back here in this pack, and he'll just make it work. And at this stage in the race, there's no reason to be out here driving aggressively. That is for absolutely darn sure. It goes Burkett, Mac, Savachki. Oh, we have a battle for the lead as Aaron Mack closing in on Corey Burkett. Right now, you got to understand what Corey Burkett is to basically the 31 and the 79 of Matt Gaskins, the 59 of Chad Sander. He is their fuel pig. Whoa! RP Allen has decided to take it 3 wide. Not sure what RP Allen is doing, but I thought I was the one with a drink in my hand. It must be him, too, as he has decided to split everybody. I know we were just talking about 2x2 going to the arc, but suddenly he just parted the Red Sea and came all the way to the other side as he shoots to the front of this top line here. My goodness, we're going to take a run back at that real quick because that was an absolute act of art. We're going to watch him crawl all the way back, and we're going to see him just creeping his way through this race, side drafting as he goes. And of course, nobody wants to go 3 wide, so a lot of guys backing out of the throttle as we're pretty early. But I'll tell you what, RP just made it look that easy. As we go back live here, we can see Corey Burkett now side by side. I got to tell you, that's probably a dangerous pair up here in the front, as Corey Burkett had kind of a rough season last year. I know that he got a lot of practice in the off season, but in that 1110 mods Ford Mustang, he's coming down hot and heavy on the backstretch. None of these drivers giving anybody any room so far. As we can see Burkett holding his line here. And folks, if you are just joining us, welcome into Sim Racing Media here on YouTube.com. Make sure you head over to YouTube, check out Sim Racing Media, subscribe, turn on those bell notifications so that you make sure that you hear us every Monday night. And of course, we'll be checking out what's going on tomorrow night. Tomorrow night is going to be the debut of the Tuesday Night NASCAR Thunder Trucks, presented by Jack Dow Motorsports and Simulators. Tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. is going to be the Next Era Energy 250 right here at Daytona International Speedway. So you can check us out tomorrow night as well. We'll have me in the broadcast booth. So if you didn't like me tonight, I'm sorry. Unfortunately, you're going to have me the rest of the way here, as these leagues have entrusted me with making sure that we tell their story properly here on the air. So far, so good here atop the pile. We're going to sift back here and see what else is going on in this race, because all of a sudden, I see Joseph Lester, and he is trying to make major moves just like RP Allen did. He's aside of Ricky Carmichael, drifting back and forth. I got to be honest, that's not a position that anybody should be in or want to be in. We're going to see if we can get a good view of this. As all of a sudden, Joseph Lester backs up and decides maybe he should pump those brakes for a second. Well, maybe not necessarily here at Daytona International Speedway, as we're only 12 laps in of 120, so a tenth of the way through this race. As we can see right now, looks like Joseph going to draft up to the rear of the 26 driven by Finn Robinson. A lot of these cars still double file. We almost can't get back to where they're not double file, all the way back to 19th now. And don't look now, but Zach Rinker looking to also get in there double file. So it is nothing but double file racing for most of this. And I got to be honest, at some point, someone's going to flinch. It's just a matter of who's it going to be. Of course, we see the 49 here of Zach Rinker. That's the pay-to-win Chevrolet Camaro, as we're trying to get a little bit of a better view here of that pay-to-win setup Chevrolet Camaro. I know I use them, and they make a comfortable setup. You can go out there and you literally do pay to win, but absolutely comfortable setup. So make sure that you head on over there to paytowin.com, paytowinsetups.com. You can Google them, of course, but great setup shop there in pay to win. So tip of the cap there to Mr. Rinker in the 49 Chevrolet Camaro. Meanwhile, up here in the mess, looks like Mac Gaskin is going to be working his way here on the low side. He's not willing to bump the 13. So what I was talking about earlier by using it as a fuel pig, right now, Corey Burkett is out here with his throttle all the way to the floor. We're going to take a look here at his dashboard. 188 miles per hour going into the turn, almost 190. Now, as we get back here to Matt Gaskins, and Gaskins is actually going to be going a little bit faster, but he's not going to be using as much throttle. So because he's able to use the engine power and the draft as the field laps, Lauren Jones in the number 11 Cheetos Toyota Supra. Looks like Lauren's going to hold on to the top side and let everybody by. Oh my! No, he makes contact with the 31. No problems, no problems. So far, so good. But anyway, Matt Gaskins is able to basically be at half throttle behind Corey Burkett here on the low side and still be matching, if not being greater than, that speed. We're going 188. We're getting ready to enter the turn. We hit 190, and he's probably only at half throttle. And there's still some space in there between himself and Burkett. So, you know, basically he's not using near as much throttle as Burkett is, and Burkett, of course, having to hold it wide open. So, busy night for him here in the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series season debut. As we're on lap number 16 of 120, it looked like Gaskins was thinking about drifting upward. All of a sudden, we see we're going to go back here to Lauren Jones, if I can find him. There he is. Lauren Jones just got shuffled here. Of course, he's a lap down now, just behind Ravaja Holt. But that lap down car, right now, he's just going to find himself some air to hang in and maybe not get himself any further down. I know that was something that I had run into last night in the Cup Series, as we've got some connection issues from the 94. Not sure what's going on with him. Hopefully that connection settles out. It goes Burkett, Gaskins, Sanner, Mack, Wilson, Allen, Honeycutt, another Allen, and of course Ricky Carmichael, Joey Savachki, and Gabriel Lafreniere rounding out your top 10. But, you know, here's the thing, 18 laps of 120. We're closing in on the end of stage number 1, about 13 laps to go, so we're going to step aside and pay some bills here on Sim Racing.
Drivers that took time, all of them within 3.5 tenths of each other tonight is going to be a very...
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
What's up, guys? Roger Debo, front tire changer for the 45 Alpha Prime car. You're watching Sim Racing Media.
Welcome back to Daytona International Speedway, where we are under caution for the first time tonight here on lap number 22. We'll look back and see if we can find out what might have happened. And usually we can tell pretty quick in a field this size what was going on. I don't see anything here. Just taking a look back and seeing where everybody suddenly got it wrong. Looks like something happened with Bennett Allen, as he is way off speed. There we go. Here it is, folks. Sorry that took so long, but unfortunately it didn't mark anything. We're going to take a look right here. It looks like Breidenbach catches the outside wall. That sends Cavaja Holt into the wall. He goes down and collects Lauren Jones, but Lauren Jones just about, oh, my goodness. Because then it turns Breidenbach right to the side. In fact, we're going to see if we can pull up the feed from Breidenbach here. And it looks like this caution is going to be charged to the 24 per race control here. And once he gets sideways, he just turns into a car collector, and not the kind that you see at the Mecum Auto Auctions, that's for sure. He does come to a rest just along the inside there. So fortunately enough, not more damage done here. That's going to shift things here, as we were so close to the end of stage number 1. And, you know, like I say, one of the things that we're going to deal with here in stage racing, just that, is going to be, you know, waiting to see who decides that they're going to come down pit road, who decides they're not going to come down pit road. This is about to get real interesting real fast. Looks like no takers here. I'll have to forgive the delay there, just trying to get some things settled up here. As we're on lap 25, so I guess guys going to try to stay out and keep it fresh for stage number 2, as we're gonna work here to the end of stage 1. The iRacing.com pace car lights are out. Folks, glad to have you all in our YouTube.com live chat. Whole bunch of you in right now. Glad to see everybody. Looks like the Godfather, Leo Bonacasa, is back. A lot of full send comments, and, well, as usual, Bob's not wrong. Neither's Leo. But you know what, guys? It's early yet, so we don't want to really count our chickens before they hatch, per se. I think I have this finally settled down here where it's not going to look so choppy. Not sure what that came from, but it's corrected now. Nothing like those opening night bugs that we see so often in so many other broadcasts and so many other applications. And of course, we're going to work those out here tonight, tomorrow night. But by next week, we darn sure know that everything is going to be ready to rock and roll, as we can see the iRacing.com pace car once again leading them through the 3-4 complex as we are high atop pit road. It is just an absolute beautiful sight to see these cars rolling through here. As the iRacing.com pace car dives down pit road, they get ready to enter the Geico restart zone. Somebody hits the loud pedal. Green flag racing once again as we are heading to the end of lap number 30. Everybody managing to get back rocking and rolling pretty good. As I think we have these technical issues pretty well figured out. I hope so. Looks like I already got a PM here letting me know that that's better. Meanwhile, back at the finish, Corey Burkett in the 13. He's still holding the low side here with Aaron Mack atop of him in the 31. Aaron Mack trying to hold off both the 13 of Burkett. Oh! Burkett gives him a bump. That's going to help him stay ahead of R.P. Allen in the 03. Meanwhile, Joseph Lester going to be trying to beat the bejesus out of R.P. Allen's rear bumper in that 03 Yahoo Toyota Supra. There is no manufacturer loyalty up here, as it is Toyota, Chevy, Ford. Of course, Corey Burkett in the 13. He is your first blue oval. Going to get all the... Whoa! The 79 giving a shot to the 13. That's Matt Gaskins. Oh! Down there on the apron, the 01 drifting way back, trying to stay out of everybody's way. Meanwhile, here on lap number 27, it looks like the 31 and the 03 going to be leading us closer and closer. Whoa! Aaron Mack getting all kinds of crazy loose down here as Corey Burkett now decides to take the charge. Matt Gaskins hot on his heels. Burkett gets into the wall. He stays down and blocks Gaskins as they are now 3 wide and now sort themselves out. Burkett losing all kinds of momentum, but Gaskins there to maybe pick up the torch for him as the 03 of R.P. Allen going to be getting some more drafting help from the 31 of Aaron Mack. Allen, Mack, and Sanner lead this piece here as we tick down the laps here in stage number 1. And folks, I got to tell you right now, R.P. Allen has got him sweating his face off as he's desperately trying to hold on to this lead to get that all-important first stage win of the 2023 season. And it goes Allen, Mack, Sanner, Burkett, Gaskins. As we see Gaskins in the 79, they're trying to form an upper line here. We're going to go to our drone cam to see if we can get a better shot of this. As we now see that top line trying to come back to itself, and once again trying to go 3 wide is Joseph Lester. As Lester, he gets into Gaskins in the 79. He turns him at the start-finish line, goes sideways. That will be the stage break, as, my goodness, that is not the way that is not the way that the 84 wanted to finish this piece, as he is all kinds of sitting sideways here. We're going to take a look back, since we're going to have some time with the caution and the stage break. Maybe a little too aggressive too early for the young man. But we're going to see how this all sets itself back up. Keep an eye right here on the 84, right in the middle of your screen. That's Joseph Lester. He's going to be right behind Matt Gaskins, that blacked out Toyota right in front of him. All of a sudden, he's got the 06 on his inside. He gets into Gaskins, and that's when the mayhem ensues. In fact, my goodness. I'm going to see if we can find the 79 feed, because there are just cars everywhere, and it looks like Lester just took himself a beating. In fact, we're going to see if we can see maybe from his in-car right here, as we're going to have some time to chat about this. Go right here from his helmet cam. We can see Lester through his windshield. He's got to know that he doesn't have room here, and he thinks that he's got it. He just gets right into Gaskins, who he had to know was on the high side. Gaskins, of course, getting all kinds of spun around here. We're going to take a look from his in-car. As we take a look here, we'll take a look from the gyro cam. We can see his hands a little bit better, as he's going to be working this wheel to keep it straight, as he's still on the lead lap, it appears. We can see him working, letting Ricky Carmichael work his way past the 95. He's staying in line, hugged up behind Corey Burkett. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere comes Lester, and he is just sideways. Now, fortunately, we can see he's holding it steady. He's got his foot on the brake, holding it for dear life, and he just comes to a peaceful rest right here in the front stretch. So he's got a little bit of damage to get repaired there. But right now, that's going to shuffle things around, as Justin Davis going to be here atop the pile. So as we get ready to rack them, stack them, and get ready for stage number 2, we're going to do a little sound check here. Man who knows is going to be listening. Let's see if we can go here to this in-car camera. Justin Davis going to be starting out front. He's going to be joined on the outside by Isaac Wilson. R.P. Allen and Chad Sander are going to be on row 2. Corey Burkett and Ricky Carmichael up 15 positions. Going to be starting on row 3. Row number 4 going to be made up of Jeff Carson and Clayton Davis. And row number 5, rounding out the top 10, John Crow Sr. and Andrew T. Jones. Of course, your biggest mover of the evening so far is actually Gabriel Lafreniere. Get his driver info up here on the screen. Here it is. Bada bing from St. Jude, Gabriel Lafreniere. I believe from our neighbors to the north, if you will. Driving the 06 Chevrolet Camaro. He's up 24 spots tonight, folks. That is a lot of work to do here at Daytona International Speedway. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, And we Justin Davis with his finger on the button, as Tony Trapasso would say he's going to have Isaac Wilson on the outside there in that olive drab looking car, if you will. Still some drivers trying to catch up to the back of the pack here. Go back through Mike Wright as they're trying to get themselves cleaned up. Brandon Minto way back here in 27th. He's following Lauren Jones as we are back green flag racing here at Daytona International Speedway. "35 laps of 120 complete. We're working our way toward lap number 60. So about 26 laps to go here in the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series. 3 wide as Chad Sanders splits the 35 and the 13. Looks like Chad wants to get back up to the lead as he is trying to get that top row formed up for himself. He's going to bring along Ricky Carmichael on the low side behind the 35 of Isaac Wilson. Wilson going to, so right now on the low side, it's going to go R.P. Allen, Justin Davis, Corey Burkett, and Isaac Wilson on that low side. Right now, it appears that Chad Center trying to get something going with Jeff Carson and the 06 of Gabriel Lafreniere, who is now up 27 positions tonight here at Daytona. This big 2.5-mile super speedway is something to behold, if you will, because I'll tell you what, folks, these drivers, they've got a lot of work to do all night long. And, you know, just even as we see this from the camping area, I mean, they're holding it wide open at 188 miles per hour. It's just, this is something so different compared to any other racetrack that we go to. You know, even its sister super speedway, Talladega, 2.66 miles over in just outside of Birmingham. You know, this is still different because winning at Daytona can really change your life. You know, we hear it all the time in the Fox and NBC broadcasts. When you win a Daytona 500 at the Cup level, I mean, your name is forever emblazoned on the Harley J. Earl Trophy. And, you know, even here in the Beef, it's What's for Dinner 300. I mean, you're still winning at the World Center of Racing. You know, internationally, we see a lot of interest in what goes on here at Daytona. And, you know, the thing is, everybody knows Daytona almost like everybody knows Indy. It's just a matter of what type of racing you know for each track. I mean, Daytona has a couple of different layouts, of course, including their Roval, or their version of the Roval. Looks like R.P. Allen deciding to shift to the top line here. That's going to open up the door for Justin Davis to draft up to Jeff Carson. Carson still drafting behind Chad Sanner. And we can see these cars still getting themselves settled in here on lap number 38 as we have just gone back green flag racing at lap number 35. A lot of these drivers that we're seeing tonight are not in their first season with the SNN family of racing. Of course, as we mentioned earlier, SNN has the Sunday Night NASCAR family, if you will, has all 3 levels of the top tier of NASCAR racing. Of course, Sunday nights we do race the Cup Series, And that goes live at 7:30 on Sunday evenings. Of course, that's a little bit different from last year, but of course we are running 100% races this year, so to compensate for that time so that not everybody is dragging their butts into work the next morning, we back that up a little bit. We still run through prime time, and it is the absolute best racing that you're going to see on a Sunday night here on Sim Racing Media. All of a sudden, Chad Sanner using RP Allen like a fuel pig. RP Allen dropping down in front of Sanner. Not sure what possessed RP to want to drop down there and burn off all that fuel, but I guess with just 20 laps to go here, 21 laps to go here in stage number 2, maybe he's thinking he can burn off that fuel and meanwhile entice Sanner to bump him down the backstretch like we're seeing right now. We do see Sanner maybe not necessarily bumping him, but definitely sucking up right to that rear bumper as he gets a little unsettled coming in here to turn 3. We're going to look back here to Justin Davis, who's a little wobbly. But back here at Ricky Carmichael, he's running right now in 10th position, up 11 from where he is. And you know what? Right now, he is just sitting in the perfect seat here on the racetrack. That's for darn sure. Of course, something special, and we're just going to have to touch on this for a moment. I know that he's a very humble person, but, you know, Ricky Carmichael, of course, the GOAT of all that is Supercross. Something to be worth mentioning. Right now, he is the only driver out here on track that has actual real-life Xfinity Series racing experience at Daytona. Ricky, of course, the driver of the 04 Monster Energy Cup Series. Back in 2011, actually 12 years ago yesterday, he ran in the Xfinity Series here at Daytona, started 14th, and wound up finishing that race. In fact, we're going to see if we can finish that up here. All of a sudden, Racing Reference wanted to blink out on me. We'll get that right. And all of a sudden, it just wanted to disappear. Anyway, but Ricky Carmichael, the only driver out on track right now that basically he's got the experience to be here at that point. Here we go. He was not here in 2010. You'll have to forgive me for that. It looks like in 2011, he did race at Daytona, but he only managed to finish the 34 laps before crashing out. So hopefully tonight going to be a little bit better for the GOAT, as I've had some time to sit and talk with Ricky over the last couple of years that he's been involved here at, over last year and this year. And I'll tell you what, he is just an absolutely all-around awesome guy. I mean, you know, humble is an understatement for this man. So Tallahassee should be proud of what Ricky does week in and week out, you know, especially with those of us that are just amateurs here in the iRacing world. Meanwhile, RP Allen, he's currently running tail to nose with Chad Sanner, as Chad Sanner is tucked up right at the rear bumper of the 03, and it goes 1, 2, 3. Allen, Sanner, and Carson still a little dicey behind him. Only 4 cars in this upper line, and I can't say that that's a great idea, but I also can't say it's a bad idea either at this stage in the race. But now 5 cars have decided to go up there. And it looks like the 15 going to be bringing up the rear. These cars, of course, handle a lot differently in the draft than the next-gen Cup Series cars that we saw yesterday. Of course, yesterday's real-life winner, Ricky Stenhouse, passing Tech and getting that official win from NASCAR. I've always felt like, if you manage to get into the race legally, wouldn't you manage to get out of the race legally? Unless you're somebody like, DW who told stories about lead shot in the frame rails of his car at different racetracks, that he could turn a little wrench and be able to open that up. So things definitely different nowadays compared to back when Darrell Waltrip was on the racetrack. But Justin Davis still trying to lead this outside line. 5 cars strong on the outside, as they are 7 cars on the low side, now 8 as they go 4 on the high side. Not a bad move as Lauren Jones decides that with all that damage on his machine, he's going to get down. Oh, the 31 of Aaron Mack just kissing the wall. Now, all of a sudden, Ricky Carmichael deciding to go high. Not sure what he thinks he sees up here, but something tells me he's got a plan. As Carmichael is now drafted up to Joey Savachny here with relative ease. Definitely not, hard work, and he made that look very easy. And, I'm not sure if he's working with a spotter, but let me tell you from personal experience last night, your racing experience on the iRacing.com servers changes drastically with the help of a spotter. It is night and day different. I can't thank my spotter enough for, getting me to the end of the race last night, Bob Nestor. And, it was actually kind of funny. One of my coworkers here at Sim Racing Media, Mr. Tony Trapasso, of course, one of the greats here on our airwaves, called me up and we were talking, about the post race. And he said, "Wow, you were really, taking evasive action, and, nice and smooth, so on and so forth." Which is definitely not my normal driving style. Usually it looks like I'm suffering from tremors or something to that effect. And I said, I kind of had a spotter. And he said, "So how was Bob?" So he guessed that I had a spotter, which was kind of cool. So it's always nice. Wow, the 06 getting dangerous reverse there. Woo! It looks like Chris Claw going to go a lap down now. But, a spotter can make all the difference on a super speedway like this. What they're able to do for you as far as being able to get you, especially in a position like Chris Claude is right now, holding his line up here on the high side. He's got the 56 of Ryan Honeycutt behind him. I'm pretty sure Ryan Honeycutt, no relation to BJ Honeycutt of MASH 4077 fame. But, it takes a lot to be able to, when you see that pack coming up in your rear view mirror, you want to hold the wheel straight. But, last night I was fortunate enough to be leading the leader for quite a while as trying to help from Chester, PA, the pride of Pennsylvania, of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Mr. Joseph Stafford, as he was trying to campaign for the win while I was trying to campaign for the end. So, and again, some of that is the benefit of being in a league like this. Some of these drivers I've seen now in this league at the Xfinity level for 3 years now. And, that's nice to have that kind of consistency. You know who you're driving with and what their driving style is like. And when you look and see who's not on track, who is on track, who's up front, who's in back, a lot of times you do see those usual suspects. And the other thing that you get to see is drivers that improve themselves year after year. And I'm sorry that he's not out here tonight, but usually the driver that I'm most excited to see as he improves is Tony Burt, driver of the number 4 machine. And because he's always a joy. He and Chris Claude gave us one heck of a thrill last season at Talladega. And I was kind of excited to see him here on the Super Speedway tonight, but I guess he's got something else going on. So, Tony, I'm thinking of you. Missing you out here on the track. I didn't see you last night either. But right now, your big mover on track still, Gabriel Lafreniere. Currently running in 5th position here. Oh! Carmichael nips the wall back here. We'll take a look back since we've got the time, and things are pretty stable at the moment. Of course, now I probably just jinxed it. But we'll take a look here. Keep an eye here on the 04s. He's going to come through the tri-oval, and it looks like he burnt the throttle and tightened up and just rubbed the wall. You can see right as he came through the tri-oval, that little bit of flame that comes out of the exhaust, right there. He had to burp the throttle a little bit, and it was just enough to tighten him up coming through the tri-oval. But here we are on lap number 53 of 120, working our way toward lap number 60 in stage number 2. Where stage 2 going to end at the conclusion of lap number 60. And as they run right now, it's R.P. Allen, Chad Sanner, Justin Davis, Jeff Carson, Gabriel Lafreniere, Joey Savajki, Corey Burkett, Bennett Allen, Isaac Wilson, and Aaron Mack rounding out your top 10. Dave Regal here in the SRM broadcast booth. Glad to be with all of you tonight. Thanks for stopping by, checking in. Like our chat's gotten kind of quiet. Hey, let us know who you're pulling for. Let us know who you're cheering for. I don't see some of our usual YouTube suspects. You know, that's something that we get to experience here at Sim Racing Media that's kind of cool. I mean, you know, a lot of the folks that we get to see week in and week out, even in our YouTube.com live chat, are people that are friends and family, you know, girlfriends, wives, what have you, of our racers. And for lack of a better term, they're hanging out with me, watching their loved ones on track, and you know, you kind of build a really nice rapport together. You know, it's kind of nice when you see somebody hop into the live chat that, you know, you've got a good little tete-a-tete going with. So it's always a good thing. And at the same time, to that point, also, bring more friends. Grab some popcorn and call a friend. Settle in. You know, what else are you doing on a Monday night? Football season's over. Baseball hasn't begun. There's nothing else to do but sit here and watch Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series Racing live on Sim Racing Media.
What's up, guys? Roger Debo, front tire changer for the 45 Alpha Prime car. You're watching Sim Racing Media. What's up, guys? Roger Debo, front tire changer for the 45 Alpha Prime car. You're watching Sim Racing Media.
Thank you, Roger. Of course, Roger, one of the chief cooks and bottle washers over at the Thunderclap Racing Series here on Sim Racing Media. They'll be back shortly, as that's a league that's very interesting to watch. We'll talk about them a little bit later, but we are on lap number 58 of 120. Right now, R.P. Allen leading this piece here at the conclusion of stage number 2. R.P. Allen dragging Jeff Carson around. Jeff Carson, of course, finishing last night 3rd position in the Cup Series. He's decided he wants to stay up front tonight as he's trying to hold off both Chad Center and Corey Burkett. We're going to watch Jeff Carson right now from Cross Junction, Virginia, as, my goodness, he's going to give another bump here to R.P. Allen. He's going to push him all the way down the backstretch. He manages to get a little bit of room now. The damaged car of Bennett Allen in the 15. He's still holding his own behind Carson as they work around lap cars coming through the tri-oval. Meanwhile, Carson still pushing the bejesus out of R.P. Allen as the white flag is in the air for stage number 2. We're going to start to see some guys try to get a little dicey here, as stage points always important, especially this early in the season. It goes Allen, Carson, Allen, Mack, and they are wrecking. That will end stage number 2, as it looks like we've got a wreck on the racetrack. The caution comes out. It's going to be R.P. Allen, your stage number 2 winner, with Jeff Carson, Bennett Allen, Aaron Mack, Corey Burkett, Jackson Derby, Justin Davis, Joey Savachki, Gabriel Lafreniere, and Andrew T. Jones rounding out the top 10. And we're going to go back and see what happened in this wreck as we get reset for stage number 3. Going to be keeping an eye on Chad Sanner in the 59. Looks like the 3 car was in the wall a little bit. And, Sanner just gets in some really dirty air, and he takes out, my goodness, half the field. We're going to see this again. He gets a little nudge from Matt Gaskins, gets himself sideways, and boom goes the dynamite. Trying to get a hold of R.P. Allen, not able to get a hold of him. So we're going to get a hold of Bennett Allen. Bennett Allen, Dave Riegel up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy. Listen, I don't know where your brother is, but R.P. definitely brought it all the way home for that stage.
He's been doing a pretty great job, so I'm proud of him for that.
As you absolutely should be proud. I mean, you know, right now, kind of where you sit, it's not really comfortable. You know, it's kind of a tight spot to be in. I mean, where are you looking, you know, further on here now that you're sitting atop the pile as we're going into stage 3? I mean, you've got a little bit of damage here going on. I mean, it's not quite a modified, but you're definitely missing that front clip.
Yeah, I always have to be careful. I didn't, you know, I can't lead a line. I was surprised that no one else took 2 tires there, so this restart's going to be a little interesting. But I got caught up in that wreck with Nick, you know, him as kind of a teammate, kind of frustrating there. But we'll be fine. I was contemplating already backing out of this race, but Leo kept saying, stay in, stay in, stay in. And, I got, 8 stage points out of that. So,
Oh, yeah.
halfway decent start to the season with 8 stage points, at least one stage. But
Trust me, I completely get it. And it's nice to have somebody. Now, is Leo your spotter tonight?
No, he was just in the
Okay.
Discord. So
I'll tell you, last night I experienced it with, Bob Nestor. He was in my ear all night as my spotter. And sometimes you just need that little bit of encouragement, like, hey, stick with it. If I would have bailed out after lap 5 when I got caught up in that kerfuffle, I would have finished more than 100 laps down, 200 laps down. So, having somebody there in your ear is always very helpful. But listen, I don't want to hold you up anymore. Get back to your Discord and, listen, have a good rest of your race.
Yep, appreciate it, Dave.
That is the great Bennett Allen, of course, of Allen Brothers fame, if you will. Still trying to work the bugs out of a lot of what we have going on here on Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series Racing. It's been a couple of months since I've sat here in the broadcast booth since our season finale in Phoenix back in November. So just trying to get everything settled in so that it looks just like normal, if you will. But right now, the iRacing.com pace car coming around turn 4. Bennett Allen, who we had just heard from, he's got his finger on the button, his foot hovering just above that throttle. He enters the Geico restart zone, hits the loud pedal, and we are back green flag racing here at Daytona. Bennett Allen getting a good jump, but Jeff Carson able to stick with him. Carson going to wind up being used a little bit here as a fuel pig with the 31 as we try to get back up to speed here. The Allen brothers going 1-2 with Jeff Carson third on the outside. And now Bennett Allen drops down to the apron and chooses maybe to hopefully not cause himself or others to have a problem. Meanwhile, by doing that, he takes all of that air, transfers it onto his brother RP, and now it looks like Jeff Carson and Aaron Mack going to drop down to the low line, leaving Gabriel Lafreniere, our biggest mover of the race, up here in third position. He's up 32 spots tonight, folks. That's impressive no matter where you are. 40 cars start this race. You come up 32. Another driver dropping down here. Not sure who that was, as it looks like maybe it's Andrew Jones. As everybody's settling back in now. But that puts Jeff Carson, RP Allen, Aaron Mack up on top of the pile. RP Allen working his way on the high side. He's got help from Gabriel Lafreniere. And I got to tell you, usually at an intermediate track, the diamond formation scares me. These first 4 cars are almost in it, but here at a super speedway, that's par for the course, if you will. So definitely something that we can keep an eye on. Let's see if we can. Going to see if we can find anybody sitting down in the pits. It's like Nicholas Breidenbach and Matthew Gaskin still down there. Taking a look through the field, Ricky Carmichael, your last car on the lead lap, running all alone back here, the rear end of that 04 Monster Energy Chevrolet Camaro, all kinds of beaten in. Finn Robinson trying desperately to catch Chad Sanner in the 59. Of course, Chad being the collector of cars there. It looks like John Bawalda trying to drift back yet again and stay out of the line of fire. He's logging laps, and it looks like he's trying to save it all here, as so many of these cars have damage on them. And something that they had mentioned yesterday on the Fox broadcast that was really interesting to me was, it's never a clean car that gets to the end of these races anymore at Daytona, because there's so much beating and banging and so much close racing. And to me, that's impressive on several different levels. That means that these drivers are getting more aggressive over time, and maybe not as aggressive as the 1979, duel in turn 4, if you will. Of course, that had concluded that first televised full-length Daytona 500. Speaking of which, you can hear all about that over on the Dale Jr. Download. During the off-season, there was a really good series of podcasts that was kind of like a side podcast to keep things fresh over there. And just go check out the Dale Jr. Download from the off-season. You're going to hear some really interesting stuff, and you're going to hear all about that 1979 televised Daytona 500. Meanwhile, we've gone single file through a lot of the field here, folks, and can't tell you enough how interesting that is, as it appears that the 06 of Gabriel Lafreniere has drifted back, and he is now back in 13th position. So obviously trying to get something going once again on the high side, trying to collect some cars together to help him get himself up there, as we're on lap number 69, coming to lap number 70. So just about 51 laps left in this piece as they cross the start-finish line right now. So still a lot of race left to go as we're closing in on the end of this race in about 50 laps. So less than a stage as we start marching forward. And right now we are going to step aside and pay some bills here on Sim Racing Media.
What's up, guys? Roger Debo, front tire changer for the 45 Alpha Prime car. You're watching Sim Racing Media.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker, The future is feeling.
What's up, guys? Roger Debo, front tire changer for the 45 Alpha Prime car. You're watching Sim Racing Media.
Welcome back to Daytona International Speedway, lap 75 of 120 here. And it looks like we've got a couple of cars getting ready to come down for green flag stops, as we're just less than 50 laps to go. Right now, Zachary Vaughn in for pit service. He's laps down, but not too many laps down. But, Zach Vaughn down here looks like he should be about 2 laps behind, as we can see that. Meanwhile, the mess going on up here on the racetrack is getting hotter and hotter. A little bit of an iRacing server issue there, but that has stabilized itself nicely. Looks like the 17 of Joey Savajki trying to get something organized here on the high side. He's going to be bringing along Gabriel Lafreniere. They've got Justin Davis to their inside. And they've got, one of the greatest drivers here in the Xfinity Series, somebody with a pile of wins from last season. In fact, we're going to look that up just as we're sitting here. That, of course, would be Mr. Mike Wright here in the number 98. We'll get his stats for you here in just a second. Mike Wright, we can see right here from Greensboro, North Carolina. Last season, he had 14 wins across the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series, with 24 top 5s, 29 top 10s, 4,000 total points. He finished behind Bennett Allen, which, of course, unfortunately for Mike, he did not appear in our season finale at Phoenix, but he is back and ready to rock and roll here at the Super Speedway. He had 2,911 bonus points last year with just 81 incidents. He had an incident per lap, or an incident per race of 2.53. So obviously a very clean driver, and just something that's not something that we see very often. Basically out of the full-time drivers, he had the fewest incidents per race. So something definitely to tip your cap to. Especially in a league where, you're running 32, 36 races per season. Of course, Bennett Allen's brother RP leads this piece here in the 03 Yahoo.com Toyota Supra. He's being pushed around by Jeff Carson in the number 9 Micro Center Toyota Supra. So a pair of Toyotas atop the pile, with Aaron Mack in a Chevrolet and Corey Burkett in a Ford Mustang running in 4th position right now. And Corey Burkett getting a push right now from the Chevrolet of Justin Davis. They're trying desperately to catch up to Aaron Mack here on lap number 80. So 41 laps to go in this piece. Folks, if you're just tuning in, I'm Dave Riegel. This is Sim Racing Media, and thank you for making us a part of your evening, as I hope that you do so every week of this season in the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series, because, you know, this is one of the premier series here on Sim Racing Media, and believe you me, we have all kinds of, whoa, the 13 gets loose right in front of the 10. The 10 gets into the 1. We stay green, as right now, Chris Claude has got to be white-knuckled on that wheel in his racing room. We're gonna check this out here as everybody checked up behind him. We're going to go right back to that. We can see the 13 of Corey Burkett just coming down right over top of Chris Claude. Chris Claude holding it steady, but bounces into the 01 of Matt Mackin. Holds her steady yet again, and Chris Claude not the least bit worried, even as he's being pushed around by Dylan Ackard. Gets himself back up underway, and obviously he is going to be desperately trying to claw forward, as we are now under caution. As it looks like we've had another wreck. We'll take a look here. We're going to see Chad Sanner. In fact, let's run this back just a little bit further. We can see Chad Sanner here in the 59. He's got the 97 right in front of him. The 97 bumps the 41, goes down, gets himself sideways, and meanwhile there were all kinds of cars spinning in front of him. The 86 of Eugenio Alonso looks like he was involved in something, maybe with Bennett Allen here. And we see the 15 just running all the way into the 95. He goes down, collects Eugenio, and just away they go. Wow. Definitely a close call for some drivers as they decided to take down to the grass, and that'll bring out all kinds of green flag pit stops. As they come out, R.P. Allen still atop the pile, Chad Sanner and Finn Robinson on pit road. So things going to change, and we're going to try to get a hold of R.P. Allen once again. Hopefully I can find him here in our Discord chat. And of course not. Well, in that case, we're going to go get a hold of Chief Cook and Bottle Washer. Chief Cook and Bottle Washer, Chris Claude, from up here in the broadcast booth. It's Dave Riegel. You got a copy, brother?
I do, sir.
A little bit of a Code Brown moment for you just a few laps ago. You managed to keep it steady. I'll tell you what, if I was you, my knuckles would have been whiter than white.
No, it probably looked a lot worse than what it actually was. It just, it got me a little bit off center, but I was able to collect it and stay off the car as much as I could that was in front of me. And we all kept it going fairly straight. Still brought out the caution, but kind of needed it anyway to get back with the rest of the field. And now I've just got to hope for a lucky dog, and now I'm 2 laps down, so I'm going to need a lot of help apparently. But at any rate, at least I can be back up with the rest of the field and have some drafting help.
Well, Chris, while I have you here, I do want to thank you for bringing the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series over here to Sim Racing Media. Of course, parting ways with the Independence Racing Network, but of course bringing the voice along with it. I do want to thank you for this opportunity because, I mean, you guys are like family to me. This is always a joy to be with you guys, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. And at this point, it would feel weird if we weren't hanging out on a Monday night.
Yeah, I know. It's become quite the tradition, and I know that everybody here really looks forward to hearing you, and it's good to hear your call again. And I look forward to watching the broadcast in its entirety tomorrow. But there's a lot of work to be done.
Definitely a lot of work to be done, but the iRacing.com pace car lights are off, so I'm going to let you go, sir. I'll get you back up to the Discord and tell Jeff we're up here watching, and he better get up there a little bit further than he was last night.
I'm going to try. I know he is too.
That was Chris Claude, of course, Chief Cook and Bottle Washer, the commissioner of Sunday Night NASCAR's Cup Series, and just about in charge of everything else here at Sim Racing Media. Chris puts a lot of time and effort into this league, and I'll tell you what, when it comes to leadership, as far as consistency, Chris is nice and steady when it comes to that. He is always here. He is always available. And we are back underway. Green flag racing. Is R.P. Allen going to take the green flag? He's going to bring along Corey Burkett with him, the 0-1 on the high side, being pushed along by Jeff Carson. Forgive me, that is not the 0-1. That's the 31. Apparently, I can't read tonight. I mean, my vision problems are brought to you proudly by Angel's Envy Bourbon, and let me tell you, that is just some fantastically smooth stuff. And quite frankly, if you're over the age of 21, enjoy responsibly, but enjoy often because it is just delicious. Meanwhile, back here at the ranch, the 31 machine of Aaron Mack was pushed all the way to the front, and instead of bringing along his drafting partner, Jeff Carson, he decides to jump down and leave Carson out to dry. Carson is not going to be left alone very long as he and Gabriel Lafreniere are going to bring along some power here on the high side. That puts Jeff Carson up in the lead. Now he's back to second as he is side by side with Aaron Mack. Lap number 85 of 120 here at Daytona International Speedway in the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series. These drivers aren't ready to give up yet. Not in the least. Aaron Mack is leading this piece. All of a sudden, R.P. Allen has somebody that can save him a little bit of fuel. You know, as long as R.P. has a little bit of patience. And if there's anybody left on the racetrack with no patience, it's usually R.P. Allen. He and Joseph Lester usually some of the less patient drivers that we have out on the racetrack. But with the skill that R.P. commands and the skill that Joseph Lester commands, sometimes it's best not to be patient. You know, you want to get up there ahead of the mayhem, and a lot of us talk about that when we're super speedway racing. Do you have a fast car? Yes. Do you have a talented driver? Yes. Then get up ahead of the mayhem. You don't want to be back there with someone who's twitchy or nervous. You don't want to be back there with somebody who might make a mistake. And even as the 13 of Corey Burkett going to give a little bump to Aaron Mack, it looks like once again that's going to leave R.P. Allen out ahead of the pack all alone, and that's going to allow Aaron Mack to draft up behind him, get a good run on him, and get a good push as we come back into the tri-oval. And as we come into the tri-oval, we're going to step aside and let you folks at home turn it up here on Sim Racing Media. And we can see right here, looking back from R.P. Allen at Aaron Mack's front bumper. I'll tell you what, Aaron Mack's front splitter, you can see it right there, is just barely hovering over top of the asphalt here at Daytona International Speedway. All of a sudden, looks like RP maybe going to be getting another bump from him. As we get ready to go into 3, we can see the 3 car itself up here on the high side. Justin Davis trying to lead a charge here on the outside on lap number 93 of 120. So just less than 30 laps to go as we're watching them tick down ever so gently here in the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series season opener at Daytona International Speedway. This is the Beef It's What's for Dinner 300. And just as we see all of that going on, it is nothing but double file all the way back through just about the 94. And Andrew T. Jones, Bennett Allen in the 15, holding his own ahead of Joey Savachny. So we did see Bennett Allen take the green flag as the leader at the beginning of stage number 2. He does get that bonus point for leading a lap. He's got the 41 of Doug Argabright on his inside. As we start to see these cars get themselves all kinds of wound up here on lap number 95. Dave Regal in the Sim Racing Media broadcast booth with you tonight. We're here from start to finish, no matter what happens here, as we're watching some of the greatest racing here on a Monday night. Of course, do want to make everybody aware, not only are we here on a Monday night, but of course the SCL Winston Cup Series also at 8:30 p.m. on a Monday with the Richie's Smokin' Barbecue All-Pro Winter Heat Series at 9 p.m. as well as the CleanRacing.net Racing Series at 9 p.m. Then Tuesday night, another quadruple header. I mean, we are busy every night of the week here on Sim Racing Media. And, of course, tomorrow night, the Jack Dow Motorsports, Jack Dow Simulator Esports iRacing Truck Series, going to be tomorrow night right here on Sim Racing Media with yours truly at the microphone at 8 p.m. The All-American Racing League also at 8 p.m., followed by the SCL Weekly Racing Street Stock Series at 8:30 p.m., followed by our Nightcap, one of our longest tenured series on Sim Racing Media, the Nightcap, the Western States Racing League, brought to you by Outdoor Cast Iron Cooking. Wednesday night is kind of an off night, nothing going on a Wednesday night, so if you do have a fundraiser race or something that you'd like to run, and have broadcasted, you're absolutely more than welcome to reach out to us at simracingmedia.com, as you can check out our availability and see what we can do for you. Then on a Thursday at 2 p.m., the Svenska E-Racing Liga, going to be on Thursdays at 2 p.m., of course, based out of Europe. Then Friday, the Midday Racing League races at 12 noon. Of course, a lot of guys and gals that race or that work in the evenings, not really able to make these kind of races, so they form their own. And that runs at 12 noon on a Friday. Then, of course, Friday in prime time, the Circle B Diecast Super Speedway Series at 8:30 p.m. with the Monsters of Speed Racing League Next Gen Cup Series at 9:30 p.m. on a Friday. Saturday night, of course, all about the Dynasty Racing League Pro Series at 8 p.m. And then Sunday, a doubleheader, of course, right here on Sim Racing Media, the Davis Brothers Roofing SNN Cup Series, one of our other long-tenured racing series here on SRM. Of course, as we had talked earlier, Chris Claude, the commissioner of SNN Racing right here in the number 10 Dasani Toyota Supra, currently pushing around the 52, or getting as close as he can to the 52. of Brenton Henderson, a rookie here in the Xfinity Series. And finally at 8:30 on a Sunday night is the Virtual American Short Track Tour Super Late Model Series at 8:30 p.m. on a Sunday night. So 6 days of racing here on Sim Racing Media as we are on lap number 99. When we come to the stripe this time, we're going to pass the century mark as RP Allen is still being pushed around by Aaron Mack. The last time they were in was lap number 81. So definitely still going to need one more stop here for pitting. As it looks like the last time RP was down, he was only down for about 10 seconds, so probably some fuel. But fairly certain he doesn't have enough to make it to the end. Of course, side by side, still behind him goes Justin Davis and Jeff Carson, nose to tail. RP Allen leading this piece with Aaron Mack, Justin Davis, Corey Burkett, and Jeff Carson. And I'll tell you what, right now, if you're Corey Burkett, you've got to be holding on tight. You know, this is a situation where, especially in these Xfinity Series cars, you have a shot from third position. But the question is, when are you going to make that move? You know, we always talk about that in these super speedway races because, you know, right now, everybody pretty well organized, side by side, a couple of rows in here. And right now, the way that things are unfolding, if you will, it looks like everybody's holding their position with 20 to go. But as we charge down the backstretch, yet again, RP Allen just takes out half the leaders. Oh my, we stay green because they're all down on the grass. We have to run this back, as it looks like the caution flag is going to fly. Oh my. Looks like it started from just behind RP Allen. In fact, we're going to look from right behind him in the 31 of Aaron Mack. From the chopper, get to the chopper. And here we are. We're going to see Aaron Mack look to give him a push, and he doesn't push him square at all and just catches him sideways. Meanwhile, as the mayhem unfolds, Aaron Mack stays pretty well straight. We're going to take a look yet again from the cockpit of Aaron Mack. See if he could have avoided this somehow. We're going to see right here from Aaron Mack, he's just not square. He's square here. They come onto the backstretch, and for some reason, Aaron Mack thought he could maybe take it 3 wide, and he just catches that right rear and just chases half of these leaders right across. Both Allen brothers involved in it. My goodness, that is something that I don't think anybody wanted to see. That's for darn sure. We're going to find Bennett Allen's camera angle. Bennett Allen, of course, already damaged from earlier in this piece. See if we can get over top of him here in the chopper. And we're going to see Bennett Allen right here in the 15 machine on the right-hand side of your screen in the high side. It looks like the 06 manages to escape unscathed, but Bennett Allen just going down there in the grass. He still keeps it going forward. Oh, and Corey Burkett, sir, I believe that's what they call a brake pedal there in the middle there. Let's see if we can find Corey Burkett. Corey Burkett comes down, he keeps it moving, and just, he never touches the brake pedal, he just keeps it moving, he thinks he's got it. comes back up onto the track, and then, wow, out of nowhere collects the 52. So the young man definitely not wanting to end that way for the evening, as he is now down on pit road. However, that puts our biggest mover of the race, Gabriel Lafreniere, up atop the pile. We're going to try to get a hold of Jeff Carson here, driver of the number 9. Jeff Carson, Dave Regal up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy, brother?
Yeah, I got you, bud.
Hey, man, listen, you just caught the worst of all breaks. You know, there I was talking earlier about staying ahead of the mayhem, and there you found yourself in it. What are you thinking trying to get back up to speed and with 17 to go here?
Well, I'm going to do my best to drive back up front here. See how these cars, like a lot of damaged cars are back here, so hopefully I get through a lot of them. Big thing is I had some damage from the last pit stop where I was coming out of the pit box and he was coming in, and I got some right front damage, which was caused me to be very overheated that last time, so I couldn't push as well. So we'll see how this run goes.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you've been charging all night long there in the number 9 Micro Center Toyota Supra, and I mean, look, if there's anybody who I've got faith in for dragging their sorry butt back up front, it's going to be you. I mean, you know, you've got your teammates out here damaged and laps down, but here you are still in the lead lap, fighting your face off.
Oh, just give me a few laps. I'll get back up front here.
Attaboy, that's what we like to hear here at Sim Racing Media. Listen, good luck to you tonight, and maybe we'll see you there in Victory Lane.
Well, that's what I'm hoping for. Hopefully I'll see you there.
Yeah, don't let me down like you did last night. I was screaming in your ear here on Discord, so, you know, make sure that you get up there tonight.
I'll try not to let you down.
All right, brother man.
All right.
That was Jeff Carson from Cross Junction, Virginia, one of our veterans here in the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series, and I got to tell you, he is one of those drivers that will absolutely not let us down. He will definitely put on a show here. As we go back, green flag racing, he takes a bump. Oh, an accordion, as it looks like the 34 checked up right in front of him. We stay green with 16 to go. The 06 getting a slow start, but Joey Savachki keeping it behind him. Let's take a look at the restart here. Maybe the 06 didn't get as good of a start as he had hoped for, as he was here on the inside line. Let's take a look. We see the 06 get his jump, and he just didn't have any help getting started. And then by the time the 17 came down behind him, it just looked like a slow start, but obviously it was not. So glad to see him still moving forward, as Gabriel Lafreniere is up 34 positions to lead this race. So he has come all the way from 35th, our neighbor from the north, Gabriel Lafreniere, to be leading this race with 15 to go. And what did I tell you, folks? John Bawalda, we watched him back down several times earlier in the race, and here he is in the number 51 trackbookings.com Chevrolet Camaro, chief cook and bottle washer, of course, of the Tuesday night NASCAR Jackdown Motorsports Truck Series. He's all the way up here in 5th, and all of a sudden John Bawalda being followed by teammate John Crow Sr. in the Jackdown Motorsports number 95 Chevrolet Camaro. They're both out here, and they're both looking for blood. Right now, if I was Jeff Carson, who we were just talking to, I'd be screaming into the microphone, "Avenge me, avenge me!" This is the time where you've got to be pushing forward with 14 to go. You know, Jeff Carson's got a lot of real estate to make up. Oh, and there goes the 03. Things are getting a little side. Wow! And he just punted Jackson Derby into the grass. We stay green with 14 to go. You thought football season was over a while ago, but folks, it's not that way here in Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series action. We're going to take a look right here. Watch the 34 of Jackson Derby They check up in front of him, and he just never followed suit and tried to drive through and just gets punted down by the 26 of Finn Robinson. We'll see what happens here. We see the 26 of Finn Robinson. He's going to get split by the 03. The 03 driving like he thinks he can make it all the way up there. The 26 backs out and just punts the 34 down onto the grass. And here we are back live with Gabriel Lafreniere atop the pile yet again. Full tank of fuel. Fresh Mr. Feelgoods on this machine. He's being pushed around by Joey Savajki. And right now, it is his race to lose. As it looks like, yet again, here's RP Allen in the 03. Pushing the lead of Justin Davis up to the lead. And Justin Davis drops off and gets right in front of Gabriel Lafreniere. Lafreniere now fighting for his racing life tonight as he is side by side with RP Allen. And if we've seen anything, I'm afraid that RP Allen might try to side draft him, and bad things may happen. But right now, RP Allen, no help on the top side, so he's got no choice but to side draft to try to stay with the 95. As now with no help, RP is dropping like a stone. And closing the gap is the 51 of John Bawalda. Oh, the 17 gets into the 3. The 3 tries to recover. He does. He stays right in front of Chad Sander in the 59. And all of a sudden, John Bawalda is now hugged up against the 17 of Joey Savajki. Oh, my. Let's take a look at this for the 03. Yet again, we can see the 03 just getting a little too close here. Going to take a look. Real nice and tight. They come into the turn. The 17 comes up and bounces into the 03. The 03 recovers. That's RP Allen. He manages to recover, but my goodness, if he's got any kind of depends on, that's definitely a Code Brown moment brought to you by the fine folks at Depends. 10 laps to go now at Daytona. The 95 shuffles down to the low side. Gabriel Lafreniere still pushing Justin Davis. John Bawalda has something up his sleeve. I have sat and broken bread with this man, and if there is anything I know about John Bawalda, he's always got something ready to rock and roll. And right now, he's just, once again, he's lurking like a lion in the weeds. If you've ever watched the National Geographic Channel or seen anything like that on the Animal Planet, he's the lion waiting for the gazelle to show its face. And all of a sudden, he is going to pounce. Gabriel Lafreniere, though, up 31 positions, running in 4th right now. He's still pushing the 03 and the 3 of RP Allen and Justin Davis. Aaron Mack running in 3rd position right now, being timed that way on the high side. Things getting exciting. Justin Davis looking for any way to get around RP Allen. And I got to be honest, I don't think RP Allen's going to give this anything. He's going to have to, basically, Justin Davis is going to have to wrest this from his cold, dead hands. As now, all of a sudden, your race leader, Aaron Mack, is out front in the 31 Chevrolet Camaro. Aaron Mack working in hard, leading RP Allen past the start-finish line with 7 to go now. About 10 cars in this lead pack. And we can see all of a sudden Brandon Minto, who's been fairly quiet also, along with John Bawalda, quietly getting a push from the 41 of Doug Argabright. Brandon Minto, another driver that we haven't really talked about tonight, but also a very consistent driver in this league. Single file go the leaders as we come through into the tri-oval yet again. When they come past, it's going to be 6 to go as Aaron Mack passes the flag stand. Now the question is, do you have any help to make the push? 6 laps to go, and this is what it all came down to. We've come through all kinds of wrecks and mayhem. 114 laps in the books as we work lap 115. And folks, now the race just started. Now we get to see what these guys are made of. RP Allen he is like a cat with 9 lives. We can't get him to go away. That's for darn sure. As he's holding his own here ahead of Justin Davis and the 95 of John Crow Sr. John Crow Sr. holding his line just ahead of team owner John Bawalda as they work around the now lapped car of Jeff Carson. Carson obviously not having a good night since being involved in that very last wreck. 5 to go. Like I just said, folks, the race only just started. You're watching Sim Racing Media. I'm Dave Regal, and this is Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series Racing. You've heard it during football season all year long from Joe Buck and Troy Kenneth Aikman. It all comes down to Monday night. And it holds true yet again here at Daytona International Speedway. Aaron Mack, RP Allen, Justin Davis, and John Crow Sr. All 4 of these drivers have a chance at the win, with John Bawalda rounding out the top 5. John Bawalda getting a push from Brandon Minto. Do he and his teammate, John Crow Sr., have enough to try to make a run here with now 4 to go? This front 3 starting to separate a little bit from John Crow Sr. You have to wonder, and this is something that I would bet dollars to donuts, as the great Chris Evans of Keystone Medical and Jim Thorpe Guns and Ammo would say, dollars to donuts, RP Allen's going to get antsy here with what's going to be 3 to go. And I'll tell you what, for John Bawalda, yet again another Chris Evans quote, you get what you accept. So do you accept staying back here in 5th position, or do you and your teammate, John Crow Sr., decide to make a push? If you're going to go, now's the time to go. Mack, Allen, Davis, Crow Sr., Bawalda, Minto, Savajki, they're all here single file. That 94 of Andrew T. Jones still back here trying to get a push from Gabriel Lafreniere. Maybe he's waiting on this last-second caution, which could bring out NASCAR overtime. We're not sure. As we see so many times in these super speedway races, as soon as somebody's foot gets itchy on that throttle, bad things can happen. 3 to go as we come to the start-finish line. Now 2 to go. Popsicles are in the air as Aaron Mack and RP Allen lead this field. The 3 and the 95 finally starting to get antsy. The 95 gets to the inside of the 3. All of a sudden, John Bawalda starting to get antsy. The 17 gets into the 12. They stay green. We stay going straight. Everybody trying to get themselves reorganized back here, but that opens the door for John Crow Sr. from Jack Dow Motorsports up here in 3rd position. It shuffles Justin Davis back into 4th. Now it's all down to Aaron Mack, RP Allen, and John Crow Sr. As the popsicle sticks are getting ready to go down, the man in the stand has the white flag in his hand. And we are racing back to checkers at Daytona International Speedway. Aaron Mack, RP Allen, and John Crow Sr. all in control of this race. The 94 shuffles. Oh, the 3 is down on the grass. The 3 comes up into the 94. That takes the push advantage away from John Bawalda. And now it's all down to these 3. 3 cars remain. Side by side go Aaron Mack and RP Allen. Aaron Mack being pushed along by the 95. The 95 looking to get a push from R.P. Allen, but R.P. Allen's not going to be satisfied with third place. He's not going to be satisfied with second place. R.P. Allen coming down to the checkered flag. As they get ready to cross, Aaron Mack gets ready to cross the checkered flag, and Aaron Mack wins. It's beef. It's What's for Dinner 300 season opener for Monday Night NASCAR's Xfinity Series here on Sim Racing Media. Aaron Mack followed by John Crow Sr. from Jack Down Motorsports and R.P. Allen. Aaron Mack holding off John Crow Sr. and R.P. Allen here at the last moment. My goodness, guys, what a race. If you have held on from the start to the finish, we have truly been with you from the green flag to the checkered flag here on Sim Racing Media.
What's up, guys? Roger Debo, front tire changer for the 45 Alpha Prime car. You're watching Sim Racing Media.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
Welcome back to Daytona International Speedway, where we have just seen one of the most exciting finishes that I've seen in a very long time here at Daytona International Speedway, and working on trying to get a hold of Aaron Mack in the broadcast booth. Aaron Mack, Dave Regal up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy, brother?
Yes, sir, I do. What's going on, man?
Man, congratulations, sir. You decided to bring it all the way back home to Fort Riley, Kansas, and what an incredible run you had here at the end of this race. Take us through those last couple of laps and what was going through your mind as you were fighting your way forward.
Teammates. It's a super speedway. Teammates, you need them. You definitely need them. And Preston being right there with me, and I can't thank him enough too.
Yeah, teammates are definitely key here at the super speedways. I mean, sir, you have absolutely stunned the racing world tonight. You started up there in third position on the inside of row 2, and you managed to keep it clean, pretty clean at least, for most of the night. I mean, some dicey moments. I mean, what were you thinking strategy-wise? Just keeping your cool?
Just keeping it, hopefully you had teammates at the end and throughout the stages there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, stage racing definitely presents itself some different things. It kind of lets you set up your strategy a little bit differently. Were you more concerned about getting to the end of the stages or thinking about those green flag stops?
It was that last 60 that we had to overcome, because you never know if it was going to be a green flag stop or a caution stop.
Well, that's fair. I mean, more often than not, you're kind of wondering, can I hang out here just a little bit longer and see if the caution comes out, or do you come in and run the risk of, as soon as you hit pit road, that's when the caution flag flies? I mean, that happens in so many different races and so many different times.
Exactly. So.
Well, sir, you can absolutely punch your ticket to the 2023 Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series playoffs with this win. So what are you looking forward to for next week?
Good question.
Vegas.
That's still a... hopefully we come in with a nice hot rod like we did tonight.
All right, man. Well, listen, before we cut you loose, who do you need to thank for this run?
Definitely Preston, for sure. Money House Racing, Leo and the guys are in the shop there. So definitely brought out some hot rods tonight.
All right, man. Well, listen, congratulations. Go celebrate that Daytona win, because there's only one time a year that you can say I'm a Daytona winner, and that's tonight.
That is true. That is true, Dave.
All right, brother, man. We will see you next week. Congratulations.
Appreciate it, sir.
That was Aaron Mack, our winner tonight. And, like I just said, only one time a year can you say that you are the winner at Daytona, and it's always on that opening weekend. And speaking of opening week, John Crow Sr. here in the broadcast booth now. Do you got a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy.
Hey, man, listen, congratulations tonight, as you're pretty new here in the Xfinity Series. Came along mid-season last year, if I remember correctly, for Jackdaw Motorsports. And look at you up here on the podium here on opening night.
Yeah, I tell you, I kind of held back majority of the night just to kind of keep my car clean. And we had a couple of close calls, and I got hit in the rear, and I kind of figured, well, there goes my contention. But I was watching a lot of cars. It just kind of gave me a little bit of hope to be able to get out there and just do it. And yeah, we got up there. I told my teammates, I was like, you know what, we're gonna do this, but we're gonna wait to the last couple laps. And just things worked out. And when I saw the 3-car, he was a little loose, and I tried to play it safe. I could have pushed them out of the way, but I just wanted to kind of let these guys know when they're up there around me, they ain't got to worry about me beating and banging on them and everything. So it was good. I'm glad. This is actually my best finish at Daytona in any series, officials or I usually get slammed against the wall and wreck out. So yeah, we had a good race, and I'm proud of my teammates. We worked together majority, and John Bawalda, he was right there, and he was helping me with the draft, and he got loose on the apron, and I was just kind of left out the drive. But definitely a fun night tonight, something to kind of thrive off of for next week.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you talk about teammates, Aaron Mack was just talking about his teammates, helping him get up to where he was, of course, RP Allen. But, I've said it before, and I've gotten a chance to hang out with John Bawalda. And if there's anybody that I want to see in my rearview mirror, especially in the closing laps at Daytona, it is definitely John. I mean, great team owner, great teammate, as you guys hung together pretty much all night long. And, you both kind of drifted back early on in the race, stayed out of trouble, kept it as clean as humanly possible, to get through the mayhem. And here you are, on that second step of the podium.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate. John had a little damage too, but he had a lot of he was fast, and unfortunately for Eugenio, he got beat up pretty bad tonight. And that was one of my biggest fears, being back there in the back. I just kind of kept me an open window so I could see ahead of me, enough time to let them know, hey, slow down, we got a wreck. So I mean, this is Daytona. You're not going to have a clean car no matter what you do, and it's all about timing, and especially. I was hoping, like I said, usually Daytona ends on a green-white checker. We know this, and I was very surprised to see it go green as long as it did, and everybody started getting squirrely and starting to move around. And at that point in time, I was a little bit like, "Yep, here we go. This is it." But we did it, and I'm happy to take second place. And congratulations to who was it, Mr. Aaron Mack? Is that who it was?
Yep.
And RP, he was up front all night, man. That guy there, he needs to take him a shot of whiskey before the race. He needs to calm down a little bit, but he's a good driver, and I'm looking forward to racing these guys on the rest of the season.
Absolutely, man. Good to hear from you. And before we cut you loose, is there anybody that you need to thank for this run here tonight?
Yeah, big shout out to Nitro Racing for the setup, and of course iFlag. I should have had a list of the sponsors, but big shout out to John at Jackdaw Motorsports for bringing me aboard. And I'm sure with my first time at a podium, I got to learn these sponsors because we definitely got a good car. But Russ Bover, I can't pronounce his name, but he's the builder over there at Nitro, and got other couple builders too. These guys do a great job, and we're proud to be a part of Nitro Racing.
All right, brother. Well, listen, we will see you next week at Las Vegas for the Allsco race, and congratulations tonight, and we will see you next week.
Yeah, man. Thank you, and we'll be looking forward to it.
That was John Crow Sr., driver of the number 95 Chevrolet Camaro. And last but certainly not least, Mr. R.P. Allen, driver of the 03 Toyota Supra, sponsored by Yahoo.com. R.P., Dave Regal up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy, bro?
Yeah, I got you, bro.
Hey, man, listen, you drove one heck of a race tonight. I mean, it's sad to see you down here on the third step, but a podium nonetheless. You must have been out there with, a little bit of dry ice on the exhaust to try to cool this thing down.
Yeah, man, it was just really fun today. For some reason, I was able to get runs where other people couldn't. So it was just really good racing out there. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, all night long I was watching you beat and bang, and some of the saves that you made, I mean, you've seen me out on the racetrack. There's more than once where I would have been dead 35 laps in where you were tonight. I mean, you were amazing tonight, holding it together and keep on pushing. I mean, up 22 spots, that's incredible. I mean, especially when your fastest lap was 47 seconds, just behind John Crow Sr. I mean, you guys were moving tonight.
Yeah, it was just a lot of luck, honestly. I honestly don't know how some of them made it out, because I mean, I even got turned and I had barely any damage, so it was like a normal car out there. So it was just luck today. And I'm so happy for Aaron, man. Like that was my goal. I tried to let him in front of me, so I was just gonna able to push him to the win, and that's basically what happened. So all is good with me.
All right, man. Well, listen, congratulations on this podium finish for tonight. Before we cut you loose, as always, who do you need to thank for this run tonight?
JCTV, he's my owner this year. So that's the main guy. My brother for sticking with me, and Aaron for pushing me back to the lead and winning the race. So I had a lot of fun today.
All right, man. Well, once again, congratulations, and we will see you next week at Las Vegas.
Yes, I'll see you there.
Well, folks, yet another one in the books here in the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series here on Sim Racing Media. Of course, another one in the books in Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series history. However, this is the first one here on Sim Racing Media, and you folks who have hung out with us from start to finish, a tip of the cap to you. We expect to see some more great racing this season. We expect to see a lot more beating and banging amongst these drivers as, a field of 40 started this piece tonight. And, just an incredible all-around race. Of course, a field of 40, 38 took the green flag. Only Tony Burt and Alexander Gangler did not take a single lap tonight. So missing them a little bit, especially Tony Burt, good buddy of mine. But let's take one last look here at our final results. Once again, as you've heard, Aaron Mack, your race winner here at Daytona International Speedway in the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series opener. He was followed by John Crow Sr. and R.P. Allen on the podium tonight. John Bawalda nets himself a top 5 to open the season. That should put him in pretty good contention as we move on in these point standings. Brandon Minto, driving the number 12 Ford Mustang, rounds out the top 5 with Gabriel Lafreniere, our biggest mover of the night. He finishes in 6th position. Joey Savajki finishing in 7th with Chad Sanner, Andrew T. Jones, and Clayton Davis rounding out the top 10. Mike Wright, after 14 wins last season, finishes this season without a top 10 to start off. He finishes in 11th position. Finn Robinson from across the pond finishes in 12th position, with Justin Davis, who held on for quite a while tonight, up toward the top of the pile. He finishes all the way back here in 13th. Mark Brewster gains 20 positions to finish in 14th place, as Ryan Honeycutt finishes in 15th. Bennett Allen, brother of your third place finisher, R.P. Allen, Bennett finishing 16th after gaining 13. Doug Argabright in the number 41 Toyota Supra finishes in 17th, with Corey Burkett, Carlos Ramos, and Jeff Carson driving the number 9 Micro Setter Toyota Supra, rounding out the top 20. Eugenio Alonso, our Buenos Aires entrant, and driving the number 86 for Jack Dell Motorsports, in that Chevrolet Camaro finishes 21st as chief cook and bottle washer for the Sunday Night NASCAR Cup Series. Mr. Chris Claude in the number 10 Dasani Water Toyota Supra finishes 22nd. Zachary Vaughn in the number 91 finishes 23rd as Matt Mackin finishes 24th. Ricky Carmichael, the GOAT of all that is Supercross in the 04 from Tallahassee, Florida, brings the 04 Monster Energy Chevrolet Camaro home in 25th as Matt Gaskins in the 79 finishes 26th. Jackson Derby finishing 27th as Dylan Ackard finishes 28th. Brenton Henderson finishes 29th with Isaac Wilson and Lauren Jones finishing 30th and 31st. Austin Story, who had a big night last night in Cup Series action, finishes at the other end of the equation tonight in 32nd, as Joseph Lester, with some aggressive moves early on in this race, finishes 33rd. Zach Rinker finishes 34th with Michael Astuto in 35th. Kavaja Holt in the 00 Ford Mustang finishes 36th as Nicholas Breidenbach in that Navy Chevrolet Camaro finishes 37th. And last but not least, in the field tonight, taking the green flag but not making it to the checkered flag, Mr. Randy Lapidus in the number 64 Ford Mustang finishing in 38th. So it has been quite a night tonight here on the racetrack, as all of these drivers have really laid it all out. I mean, you can't ask for much more than this in an opening night. And to me, as far as my money's concerned, there's a lot more to be seen coming up. Of course, next week we will be over at Las Vegas, so making a little West Coast run, if you will. In fact, we'll get that pulled up right now for you. As, like I said, next Monday night going to be out in Las Vegas for the Production Alliance Group 300. Oh, I'm sorry, not Las Vegas, but Auto Club Speedway. My goodness. I was thinking Allsco uniforms, but next week is the Production Alliance Group 300 at Auto Club Speedway. So going to be quite an interesting race out there. And, of course, tomorrow night coming up here on Sim Racing Media, going to be the Tuesday Night Truck Series. Of course, always exciting when we get to see a truck league here on Sim Racing Media. But tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, going to be the Jack Down Motorsports new sponsor truck series here at Daytona. So for everybody here at Sim Racing Media, I'm Dave Regal, thanking you for making us a part of your evening. We're glad to have had you with us from the green flag to the checkered flag here at the World Center of Racing at Daytona International Speedway. And tomorrow, as you go through your day, you need to find a happy moment. You need to make that happy thought and hold on to it so you can fly. Good night, everybody.